What's up, Slayers? Let's go. It's Friday night. We're back in action. We did not have a Slay Station last Friday, but here it is, March 15th, the Ides of March. And we're back. We got a Slay Nation Directors Roundtable. We got a few of our directors that were available to hop on tonight. We're going to dive into a few their schedules, right? We're going to highlight a few tournaments that they're really excited for their season. And we're going to talk about that. We're also going to talk about some fishing topics that are going on around the industry, and talk about how excited we are for most of us to start our seasons. A lot of the guys on tonight are Northeast directors, and we have not started our seasons yet. So we're excited, and I'm excited for our audience to meet some of our newer directors and some faces that have not been on Slay Station yet. So we hope everybody's doing well and healthy. We see people in the comment section. Don't forget, if you're watching on YouTube or you go on YouTube, subscribe to our channel. Really trying to build that audience. Facebook, you guys are great. And also make sure you grant StreamYard permission to use your name, because you might comment. All we will see is Facebook user. If you're one of our boys or girls or wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, we know who's chatting, right? So thanks for tuning in. And real quick, before we get started, don't forget, if you want to register with Slay Nation and you want one of those jerseys, you got to register by April 15th. After that, you could still register with us, but the jersey is not included in the membership. All right. So don't forget, we do everything grassroots, right? Slay Rays in the basement, one at a time. And that's how we do it. So thank you all for tuning in. Real quick, let's thank all of our sponsors. SFO Tackle. Listen, they got a bunch of new forward-facing sonar baits that are not on the website. So you got to call them up and you can still use your Slay Nation code. Okay. Black Hall Outfitters, the official kayak retailer of Slay Nation. Listen, they ship anywhere in the United States. All right. If you're a Slay Nation member, you got I'll resend it to some of our newer members, but they're giving us phenomenal discounts. Whether it's apparel, whatever they got online, if you go in store, which, by the way, if you live in Connecticut, their store is freaking awesome. Like it's so nice. But they have, get discounts, Old Town Kayaks, and they gave us super discounts on any of their Hobie inventory. Dark Horse Tackle, there it is, subscription box that supports small American businesses. Martin's Custom Baits. Let's go get yourself, all right, some wire baits, whether it's a small mini football jig, right? Their newest spinner bait, the Knee Knocker, developed by Bassmaster Elite Pro Jonathan Kelly, which we wish him luck this season. Right, underspins, whatever you name, they got it. Buzz baits, you got it. Okay, down below we got X-Zone Lures. I know you Slayers are using that discount. We got Heat Your Meat in the house, right? Slayin' 10. Okay, that's our code for anybody to use, right? It's warm out. You're going to start grilling soon. Stoneman and Son Lure Company. Listen, Pete, the owner of Stoneman, is one of our newer directors in Vermont. He's already got some people signing up. So he's a director and a sponsor. The Rod Glove, Hooks at Hoodlums, Harmony Fishing Company, and Omnia Fishing. Now, we have right here, 1, 2, 3. We got 5 directors about to hop on to join us. We have TJ Swaney.
What's up, Slayers?
PA Kayak Series Director. What's up, dog?
What's going on, Frankie?
Brand new to the show, we got Jim in the house, Long Island.
What's going on, guys?
Series Director. What's up, Jimbo? We got Alvin. You guys know Alvin, the Virginian Cowboy, our Team Slot Series Director.
How's everybody doing, man? Thank you, Frank.
There it is, dude, the great goat god right here. We got Jake Stem somewhere in the woods of, where are you? Pennsylvania or Virginia?
Yeah, middle of PA, out by State.
PA.
Out by Penn State.
He's by Penn State. He's we're gonna have fireside chats with Jake Stem tonight. There he is. All right, he's camping out. And also new to the show, we got one of our new directors. Oh, there he is, from New Hampshire Kayak Director Joe Campbell.
Hey, what's up, guys? What's going on?
What's going on, brother? I'm glad you made it.
Yeah.
Well, listen.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Good evening. Right. We got a full panel tonight. I'm excited. I know that our audience is excited. We got like a decently large crowd for our live right now too. I like this. So people are excited. They want to hear you talk. So here's what we do. We're not going to go through everybody's schedule, every event. We'll be here till midnight if we did that. But what I do want to do is highlight a few of your events that you are really excited about. Maybe it's a body of water you've never been to, or some members never been to. Maybe it sets up for a perfect time of year where you're like, oh man, I think a lot of our teams or our anglers are going to have great limits. Someone's probably going to break their PB. Let's talk about that. And also, if it's on your schedule, just talk about, we have a bunch of memberships coming in like in the last 10 minutes. Whatchamacallit, talk about where if it's on your schedule, if it's like to be announced and you're saving it, then don't say the body of water. But like if you have your AOI championship already planned out on your schedule, talk about that. And we'll go around the table. We'll do that. And then we'll touch on some topics in the fishing industry that I would like to get people's opinions on. And we'll go from there. Sound cool?
Sounds good.
All right.
Right on.
Let's start off with some of our newer. Oh no, we lost Joey. There he is. Jim, let's start with you. Let's go to Long Island, man. Let's. Do you have your schedule by you?
Yeah, man, I got it.
All right, talk to us. Like what the first of all, this is our first club in Long Island, and so I'm really excited. Talk about your schedule, what you're most excited about, and also when your first event is. That's what I wanted to say. Season openers.
So our season opener is in a couple of weeks. It's on April 7th over at Forge Pond. That's basically right in Calverton. They got a nice little fishery over there that it's been always a decent fishing spot for everybody to go to. There's a lot of kayak guys that go there with just like, they got a kayak ramp for everybody. So there's a lot of people always on the water, but it's definitely a nice fishery. We had a couple big fish come out of there last year. We were fishing with Long Island Bassmasters, and we did a lot of fishing stuff there.
What's a big fish in Long Island?
The average fish is probably about like 1.5 pounds to like 2.5 pounds. Big fish there is probably about 4 pounds in that lake. Blydenburg, we had
sounds like Connecticut.
Last year, Blydenburg, we had a big fish. We're going there later in the season, but we had a big fish there with 6 pounds last year. That's got a good.
That's a good size.
Nice.
Yeah, there's some big fishing in here. We go out to Montauk. We got some smallmouth in Montauk, which is kind of a sweet thing for the island, So
yeah.
Montauk. There's a lot more there's walleye. There's a whole bunch of stuff in Montauk. Montauk's kind of known for all its saltwater, but right in the middle, in the heart of the whole city, basically in the little town, there's a big pond that you'll see guys fishing and everything almost every day.
I was just gonna say that. I'm sure people watching are like, this guy just said Montauk. Like I'm thinking of striper fishing, because I know when you told me Montauk, I'm like, wait, what? What are you talking about? What kind of tournament you want to run here?
Yeah. I mean, Long Island Bassmasters. I mean, they've been around. They were the first affiliated bass club back in the 70s that was north of the Mason-Dixon. So these guys been fishing freshwater on the island for years. So
yeah, that's I like that. I remember that was one of the first things you told me. Like you got a long-lasting Bassmaster club. And I forgot who I was talking to. Oh my God. I was talking to somebody recently about that and they knew about it. I forgot who I was talking to. Might have been someone up this way by me, but I was just talking to somebody about this earlier in the week. And they knew all about what you're talking about, that club and everything. Oh my, they're like, oh man, that club's been around forever. I forgot who it was. Somebody at school, I think it was someone at school or someone I was talking to at basketball clinic. But they were like, oh yeah, I know about that club. He's like, yeah, I knew somebody that used to fish it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Nice.
Nobody really knows about it, but it's kind of like the local little honey holes,
100%. 100%. And what so out of like the your schedule, what event like most excites you? Like you one you can't wait to go to, but you
I always
think
look
that
forward to Montauk. Montauk is usually
Montauk,
my
okay.
go-to. Yeah, that's my definitely go-to. It kind of has the most range, the biggest range of fishing. You know, you can there's the best sights out in Montauk. I mean, the nice ride in the morning, you kind of like the usual 2.5 hour ride in the morning only takes like an hour and 15 minutes, and you get out there, and it's just kind of like
nice.
It's just wide open, and it's a nice lake. There's a nice big variety of fish. It's definitely one of my go-tos and my favorite.
Do you have deep bodies of water out there on Long Island, or fairly shallow?
Lake Ronkonkoma is like the deepest lake on the island, and that's when the water was high. I think like the deepest spots maybe like 60 feet, but most of them are like 5 to 10 foot max. You know, there's quite a bit of between like 3 and 5 feet.
All right.
So,
you know who I was talking to when we spoke with Mike from Lunkerville? He knows that club because he mentioned the director club in Long Island. That's who it was. Now that I think about it. All right. And where and how many events are you holding this year?
So we're holding I believe 9.
Yep.
And then we're going to have an AOI and a state championship.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. And by the way, anybody watching, these guys know Heat Your Meat is doing plaques for the biggest bass for each state. So if you're in a state that has 2 clubs, right? The directors, I did this in Connecticut last year. Heat Your Meat bought a belt, right? They bought one of the, he did a Trophy Smack belt, but those are expensive. He's like, yeah, I'll do plaques for every state. So there's 2 clubs in New York this year. All right. We got Long Island and we got the kayak series. So the biggest bass. So you and the directors will have to keep track of that. You just keep track of big bass in a spreadsheet. You say, Just, who's your big bass? Or Josh, oh, we got 22 and a quarter. Oh, we just beat that today, 22 and a half. And the big fish of the state only in Slay Nation sanctioned events, not any online stuff. Like as far as like if you did an onliner with your club, right, to just keep excitement going, those don't count. It has to be in a live event for that. He's doing one for every one of our series. I think even the slot series too, Al. I got to double check on that. Nice. Well, it looks, Jim, I mean, I know it's your first year as a director, right?
Yeah, man, we're looking forward to
I'm sure
it.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. You're looking forward to it. You know, it's always that new director stuff. Like you get a little nervous, you're anxious, you know, and there's just a lot of new stuff until you just get your own little routine going on how you set up in the morning and do whatever. And then just feel comfortable. And then you go out there and you fish just like everybody else comfortably. Well, I like it. We're excited for Long Island to crack off soon. And hey, I'm ready to see Vinny Baboots in first place and Paulie Walnuts in second and you know, Timmy Supasad in third. So
we gotta get Bob with the 40 rods too.
Yeah.
Frankie,
what's up, T?
Real quick. Hey, Jim, technically you're in New York, man, so you can come to the PA event, PA versus New York. Right on
man,
Sunday.
I just saw Josh mention that.
Yep.
Saying who's coming up for the whole thing.
Yeah,
Jim, you got to get a kayak, Jim. You got to get you in a kayak.
Yeah. I don't know about that. We'll work on it, possibly.
Oh, that's funny. Nice. All right. So we started off with Long Island. We could call it Strong Island, right? We started off with Strong Island. Let's go right down in the middle. Let's go to New Hampshire with Joe. Joe's a new director. Joe, how are you feeling about the schedule this year?
Well, not too bad. I want to add a few other tentative dates kind of at the end. We're working on permissions to launch at some bigger lakes to get some larger launch areas in a better area of lakes. Maybe for that AOI to move that out a little bit further, have that a different date. Some of the better bass factories that we have up here in New Hampshire. Well, we have. I mean, the places that we're fishing right now. Right now we have 5 scheduled. Um, it's all smallmouth and largemouth bodies of water. So it's great. So if you're if you're big into smallies or if you're big into largies, it's anybody's game at that point, which is kind of nice, depending on the time of year too. So
Yeah. Yeah. With New Hampshire, you guys got
for
some
sure.
great, I know having friends up that way and smallmouth fishing and, Lake Winnipesaukee and all these really good spots. I mean, you guys got some beautiful land up there.
Oh yeah, we sure do. We got, I mean, a lot of little ponds and lakes and things like that. I'm trying to get on some bigger bodies of water so we can actually spread out.
Yeah.
Because I've been in tournaments before where you're beating spots with each other, so you don't want to be doing that all day
100%.
long. If you don't see but 2 other kayaks throughout the whole tourney, that's great. Especially if you're on the fish, So,
100%.
yeah, I mean, we have a couple that I'm looking forward to. I've scheduled a couple on the Connecticut River to try and draw some folks in from Vermont. Um,
Yep.
Maybe we'll try and do something with Pete, with the new Vermont director, to try and get state versus state kind of thing. With the other, we have 2 other trails here in New Hampshire. So
Oh, that would
maybe
be a
we
good
can
idea.
do a whole state, and maybe we'll have a bet on who actually gets who'll get the belt this year for New Hampshire.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, we should try to talk to Pete and set
Yeah,
that up. But I want to
yeah,
touch on a point you talked about. You're like, hey, we have tons of small bodies of water, and we just don't want
mm,
anglers on top of each other. I totally agree. And that's one thing as a director you look at, right? I know I do. And I have
right.
slim pickings in Connecticut, right? Because of parking restrictions and everything. But that's one thing I look at when I'm trying to organize my schedule is I look for like bodies of water that have some coves, some that have some islands, right? So that you're just giving
Mm,
options to
right,
spread people out, because they can fish.
right,
Everybody fishes a little differently, right? You got
right.
your offshore guys, and they're gonna have your guys that beat the banks. Then you have the guys that love going in the coves and those cuts. So it's like as a director, and as the years go on, like you start to like those are the things you start looking for that maybe you might overlook your first or second season, right? Just because it's just how it is.
Yeah,
And then you're like, all right, well, how does this place set up for a tournament? Right? Is it set up? Is it sometimes you don't
mm,
have an option? Like in Florida, everything's like a big bowl. Um,
right.
it's tons of weeds, but yeah, you make a good point.
Yeah, I mean, I've come from like the big boat world. I fished kayaks for a long time. Never done it competitively with tournaments or anything really. Over the last about 4 years. But it's that kind of solidarity to it, where you're by yourself, you're fishing yourself, and you don't have a 250 Merc to get you 10 miles up the river or something in a couple minutes. So it's kind of nice to really kind of narrow everything down. You really have to hone your skills. Um, so I try to look into that too, especially for the new fishermen, the ones that are they're hesitant about joining a league, joining a trail.
Mhm.
We do have a couple other kayak trails around here in New Hampshire. They're great, but you got a lot of you got a lot of good sticks in those trails, and it makes a lot of other fishermen shy, so they don't want to come out of their shell to try that, like, oh, I want to try it, and that's one thing that I'm pushing here is familiar bodies of water that, yeah, they're larger, but try it out, and then get in the groove of things. If we gain people, we might lose some people, in the long run. But
Yeah,
we're going to be, if we can be somebody's start to get into everything, that I think it's successful.
100%. That's what it is. That's what we pride ourselves on, as being like a stepping stone for tournament anglers, right? And
Right,
then
that
and then after
grassroots. Yeah.
that, and we get a nice melting pot. We get
yeah.
people that have been doing it for a while, and then you get some new some fresh anglers, and you get some right in the middle. And if that's like the perfect combination, then if you could get everybody and you set the tone, everybody gets along, cheers each other on. Listen, the sticks are going to win, right? But just don't be an asshole, right? That at the end of the day, I don't care how good you are.
Right.
Awesome. You won a few $100s, but be a good person. And that's what a club is built on, right? Is when everybody, respects one another.
Yeah.
I love it. And I'm excited for your trail.
Yeah, me too.
All right, let's go to TJ.
What's up, Frankie?
What's up?
So we got 9 events this year. That's just live events, not including the monthlies we do most of the year as well. Our first event, I think we're probably one of the only clubs that actually goes out of state for our first event. We shoot over the Jersey because PA has a no tournament rule during the spawn.
Oh, that's right.
Everybody wants to get on that, that spawn and try to catch their new PB. So we shoot over the Jersey, over the Merrill Creek, deep water reservoir, tons of smallmouth. I mean, I've personally caught a 6-pound smallmouth out of there. Won it last year, our event there myself with 96 inches. So, I mean, you go there, you got a chance of catching a nice smallie. Hell, there's some good largemouths. And Jake knows about the lake trout over there. He likes scoping those things.
Oh yeah, that's a fire lake just over in Jersey. Big old largies and smallmouth.
It's a good lake to fish on for the first event for the year, so I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, I'll be there. Don't you worry. I'm coming for it.
So I just want to highlight again our Civil War with New York this year. It's our 3rd year running of doing it. It's a great event. Gotta love the New York guys. Shout out to Josh and Justin. Glad they're coming down for this one. But we'll still see them on Cayuga. We're still shooting up there to fish one of the events with them in the Hobie, so should be a good time. But another thing about the Civil War guys, don't forget, it is now live with the Kayak Adventure Series. We're over there with Drew Gregory. We're going to share the, I think it's over 100 miles of river technically with all the tributaries and everything like that. And we are hosting it. Our event's going to be an open event. So any angler that is not a member of Slay Nation, please sign up. You're more than welcome to fish with us, see what it's about, and see what the Slayers, why everybody wants to come fish with us, man. It's just all about the love. It's all about the good time and, fishing with your brothers. So get signed up for that. You can double dip, triple dip, I think, because I know another 2
I think
clubs.
It's like 5 times dip at this point. There's so many clubs.
Yeah, there's so many clubs are getting signed up for it's going to be a massive party. So,
nice.
Week-long event. So get signed up, fellas. If you're a member of Slay Nation, you want to come, just come on out. Have a good time.
And it's anyone's game because, New York had to use one of the lakes that they fish a lot because they were worried and scared. We're fishing the stretch of the river. Almost none of us have ever fished the stretch of river. It's so far north. Actually, the boundaries go into New York. So it's kind of like a halfway, literally split state tournament. So don't worry, Josh. We thought about you. We didn't want you whining.
The love is real.
For our AOY championship this year, we picked a new lake completely new to us that Slay Nation has not fished. Actually, Jake's going to be over there tomorrow trying to get the early scope on it. That's Raystown Lake.
Okay.
Central PA, massive lake. I'm still trying to dive into it a little bit more, but it should be a good time of year. It's going to be in September, so hopefully, we're getting on that late summer, early fall bite. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And then our state championship, I actually like to do something a little different. It's a state championship, so I open up the entire state. I call it the Battle of the Honey Holes. So we'll see who has the best honey hole and takes away the state championship.
Hey, be careful how you say that nowadays. Who has the best honey hole? I'm just saying. Easy. Hey, now.
Yeah.
I like that. That's cool. I remember you did that you did that this past season.
Yep.
That's right.
This past season,
that's true.
TJ, I'll see you at the same lake, bud.
Yeah, I'll see you there too.
Oh my God. Nice. Well, it looks like you got a great game plan. If there's one, I probably know this answer, but if there's one event that you're most excited for, which one is it?
It's of course the Kayak Adventure Series, the Civil War on Necessity.
Yeah, I was gonna say the
Just,
Civil War. Yeah, that's good.
That's going to be a stellar event, week-long event with Drew Gregory and his guys and all the other clubs. It's just, they got food trucks coming. They got GoPro, Toyota, so many sponsors coming to set up. They're going to have bounce houses for kids. I mean, that's what it's all about, dude. So that's the event I'm looking
I hope they have
forward
a good turnout. I hope they have a good turnout.
Bro, I'll jump in
like
a bounce house. I'm down.
I would like to see that. But if it goes flat.
I'll go live. If he does
Jesus
it, I'll go
Christ.
live.
Let me see if you could do a backflip on those.
All right, I will.
And then Al, well, I know, you're the online slot series director, but when does the team slot series open up? Is it in April? I don't remember.
April 27th and 28th will be the first weekend. You can fish either day.
Okay. Yep.
We're looking forward to
roster. Got a decent roster for that already. There's like 37, 38 people on that roster already.
Yeah, and I'm telling you right now, we've had it as a solo. This is our first year doing it as a team series.
Yeah, I like the team.
And a lot of the guys in that are wondering, do they got to fish the same day, the same lake, the same boat? And you don't. You can fish either Saturday or Sunday. Unfortunately, 20X doesn't let you pick which day since it's a team series. When it was a solo series, you could pick which day. So if you fish Saturday, you submit your fish. If you fish Sunday, you submit your fish from Sunday. But you can fish different bodies of water. You can fish different states. You got a guy that's out in California that's fishing good, and you're in Virginia or North Carolina. You can do it that way. So, and I know we've got a couple of teams that'll probably be fishing off the same boat, which is perfectly fine. We don't mind,
Yeah.
So yeah, April 27th, 28th is the first weekend. We got 6 tournaments for the year. We're thinking about taking the last tournament and putting a side pot. A little side pot, which will be maybe $10, and it'll be an individual side pot. Whichever individual has the highest number, winner takes all. So, fortunately, we can do a lot of different things.
Yeah, I like that. And so with the team, right, just to make sure let's just say me and you are a team. I could fish Saturday, and then if you can only fish Sunday, you fish Sunday, right? And it's our 10 best for the whole weekend.
And it's the best for the weekend.
Yep. So it's flexible. Very flexible.
I like that idea, and I've always liked the idea. Our team, even when we were solo, we still offered 2 days. A lot of people work Saturdays, so this way they can come in and work on Sunday. And I remember last year we had one guy had a storm roll through on Friday night, and he was like, "I just can't get to the lake on Saturday," so we just dropped him from Saturday and put him in on Sunday.
Yeah, which I like. I like that. I think I'm going to sign up and do it. And I love that it allows, like, if you live in Connecticut and you want to team up with a buddy from California or Florida, you could do that. And that's the fun part about it. And if you're smart, do it, unless you got huge smallmouth and you both live in the same state.
It allows for people that normally wouldn't fish together to team up and fish together.
Yeah, which I think that's the best part. And plus, it makes it much more fun. It makes it much more fun.
Yeah, especially when you're fishing.
I'm excited for it. Yeah, and I'm excited for it. And I think listen, it doesn't get any more flexible than those rules. Pick the day you want to fish and fish where you want to fish, as long as it's not a private lake, and fish how you want to fish. Boat, kayak, bank, doesn't matter. Just make sure you measure it correctly.
And the basic slot rules stay in effect. You can each have 4 fish up to 18 inches. And your 5th fish has to be 20 inches or greater.
Whoa.
So if you submit something that's between 18 and a quarter and 19 and 3/4, we're just going to drop it. We're not even going to count it.
Doesn't. Yep. I love it.
Jake,
He
you're
was
gonna be
doing
a busy
thumbs
man
down
this
to
year.
Bro, I'm teaming up with Justin. I
and
already told Justin that months ago. Josh, good luck. Josh, team up with TJ. Let's go. Let's battle it out. 2v2.
oh my God, there's lots of New York, PA loves tonight.
There is.
Well, I love it.
Hey, don't let me get
I
Brett
love
on
it.
here. I'll call Brett.
Oh
when you
God,
come
don't.
in here.
Oh,
No, no.
Brett Holfelder. That would actually we will do a special before the Civil War. And I would love to get Greg and all those guys on. Or Drew.
You got to get Brett on. He got a new hat. It says Scope and Hope since I put Live Scope on his kayak.
Scope and Hope. Nice. All right. I like it.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Well, it sounds like all exciting schedules. I know for my series, right? I direct a small vessel series. Of those that are watching, I don't know. Yes, I direct a club. And we don't, I start late. I put it late because of a few reasons. One, I typically have always started our season at the end of March. But I have the Connecticut Fishing Expo next weekend, which we're going to be busy with that. And then early April is my anniversary. So I pushed it off. And I got basketball still. So we start late. The latest I've ever started May, the first Sunday in May. I think it's May 5th or something. And I'm like, you know what? Maybe it's a good thing. We're not going to be freezing our asses off at 5 a.m., 4:30. So maybe it'll be nice. So whatever. We have that. And I got 8 events. I do 8. I can't announce where our state championship or AOY is because I keep those secretive until the end of the year. Like last year at our AOY championship, the winners of that opened an envelope where we fished for our state championship, and they announced it. And it was Candlewood Lake, which we've never fished Candlewood, and ended up being an awesome state championship. Lots of big fish were caught. But I'm curious if anybody's going to finally break up. And I don't know, maybe we did last year. I don't remember. I feel like TJ came close. If I'm just like thinking, we've never had anybody submit 100 inches or more. You did?
Yep.
All right. That's what I thought.
It was our online event. I think it was 102 and a quarter.
Oh my God. That's good limit for Northeast.
I was in like
one day,
almost last place. Was fishing a Susky, decided to make a change, went to a honey hole lake, and within 3 hours caught 6 fish over 20 inches.
Oh my God. That's a good day. That's a Century Club right there.
That's a solid day.
Which I might have to get some decals made if we get anybody, get a Century Club like decal or a little plaque or something like that. Because that's hard to do. That is hard to do. Especially in a live event, 1 day event, right? That's not easy. Sometimes it's hard catching a limit. But anyway, so awesome schedules. I'm excited. Now I want to turn the topic, which is probably the hottest topic right now in the fishing world. For anybody that pays attention to the professional stuff, whatever, it's forward-facing sonar is the talk of the town. Bass After Dark had their podcast last night, and they had their panel on. They had Freddie Rubanis on, and they had Scott Martin on. And we're talking about, hey, is forward-facing sonar, right now, is it just a generational turn? Is it the young anglers out fishing the experienced anglers, or is it just this technology evolution where these kids are just are better with it because they're more tech savvy? And then it got me thinking, and someone mentioned something like, hey, I forgot where I was listening to it this morning, and it got me thinking for our clubs, like, have any of y'all, like, do you think that forward-facing sonar, like a lot of the winners of your events are going to be forward-facing sonar users or not? That's my question. Anybody can start.
I think it all comes down to the person using it.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't spend the time getting to know that technology, I don't think it'll be super effective for you. I mean, also it depends on the lake you're at. 'Cause if you got some shallow lakes you're fishing at, it's not really going to help you out too much, I would think. So, I mean, I know we had some guys last year who ran it and did pretty well. I've had it before, didn't like it personally, fished better without it, so I got rid of it. But I do think it's going to be just a normal thing we're going to see in the future. Now you hear, I was listening to Alex Rudd this morning on his podcast, and he's talking about how the Oculus thing is going to be next. Some of these guys are already trying to.
Oh, what is that? The thing you wear in your face?
Yep.
Isn't there some guys using that already?
Yeah, I think what's his name from Guggen put out a video on YouTube of him setting it up and using it, and it's just crazy.
John B from the Guggen Squad. He used the Apple goggles, not the glasses that the Bassmaster guy apparently was using. These were the actual Apple ones that were going viral. He used them.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
I heard
that's
somebody
like
in tournaments using it, the glasses.
Yeah, that's a little. I think that's too far. Like, come on, dude. What the frig?
I mean,
like you're wearing virtual reality on your face now.
Yeah, it's all augmented. You can't even see through them, so it's just a live vision screen, and then you got the HUD basically showing active target, the forward-facing sonar screen right there.
And with the goggles, it equivalents to a 200-inch TV screen in front of your face as well. That's what it equivalents.
So it's basically, so you put the goggles on. So instead of looking at your screen, it's right there.
It links. You can put it wherever you want. You can change the how clearly it is. Like you can almost see through it. You can change how like bright it is or how like clear it is to see through it. And then you literally can move it around, but it's equivalent to a 200-inch screen TV right in your glasses.
Oh, but like, I don't know. I think that's a little. For nothing, I think it's ridiculous. Like, if you saw someone on the water with that, I'd be like, dude, what are you doing?
In the video, he drives with Navionics pulled up, and like they're gonna make that illegal to drive because it's it can affect your driving. It'll never be legal.
Well, there's gonna be accidents. I mean, let's just say you're on the water and you got this thing on, right? There's a big ass power boat coming at pleasure boat, or I don't know, and you don't even see it because you have no peripheral vision. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah, one of those wakeboarders.
Yeah, I'm just saying you can't even look to react. I don't know. That's like that's where my mind's going. I know 100%. If someone, I would never want it. Would I want to like test it out and try it just to see what it is? Yeah, why not? But I would never want that.
I think what's going to happen is you have this. Yeah, you're going to have this thing over your face. You're going to get so fixated on that screen. Like Frank said, you're not going to see what's coming up on the left or the right. And you're not going to hear or pay attention to it because your mind is going to be set on that little square in front of you.
Well, I think Al, the way this thing works is you can't see through the lenses, but it's a virtual fucking like a TV screen, and it picks up a wide view of vision. And then the forward-facing sonar screen is like like if I'm looking here, it's gonna be, where's the camera at? It's gonna be like here above me, and I can still see all around it. And like Jake said, you can set the opaqueness or whatever it's called, so you can actually see through.
Gotcha.
So I mean, you're still gonna be able to hear. You're still probably gonna see, but you're gonna have more tunnel vision, I'd imagine.
It's gonna mess with your senses as well because you're trying to focus on that. But if you're hearing something, it's probably gonna mess with your senses.
Yeah, that's a little weird. But I know that a lot of our anglers and all of our clubs, I guarantee you, I know for a fact mine, and I know for a fact a few years already, but some of our newer clubs like Jim and Joe, whatever, unless you guys have it already, but I know that we're going to have members with it. And I'm just curious, I think that's something I might try to keep track on with you guys, like just message you and say, hey, your top 3 winners, any of them have forward facing sonar, like for data. Right. And I think it'd be really cool to look at the end of our season and say, holy crap, 70% of the top 3 were using forward facing sonar, or top 3, or 70% did not use it or didn't have it. I just think that'd be a cool stat to keep track of. Yeah,
real quick, Frankie, my phone's going to die here shortly. So, I'm going to probably dip out of here for the night.
Have fun. Stay away from the black bears.
Yes, sir.
And the skunks, dude. We don't, all right? You don't make May jealous or anything out there. Okay?
All right, boys. I will.
All right, have fun tomorrow,
see
y'all
later. Adios.
All right, Jake. I'll talk to you
later, dude.
Tomorrow.
Have fun tonight. Go cuddle with your boys. But whatever. So, but this topic is like, I get it. Like this is gonna be like this all season, especially in the pro leagues and this and that. Like, and even the trickle down effect to grassroots style stuff, right? And all the kayak events. And I mean, it's just, I mean, the more and more you hear about it, the more and more you think about it. And you're like, you think, whatever your opinion is on Randy Blockett, he does make some good points. I'll be honest. He does make some good points. Is he a little bit of a crybaby about? Yes, but he backs his words up. He's not like he's a dummy. But it got me thinking, like, hey, is it gonna dominate our grassroots clubs? I don't know.
Like I said, I think it just depends on how much somebody actually spends the time learning that piece of.
Well, that's the biggest factor is you might have it, but if you just got it or you never really practice it, which I've heard those stories too. And you just said yourself, TJ, I had it and I got rid of it because I fish better without it.
Yeah, I mean, it drives you nuts when you literally are watching a fish chase your lure and knows it and can't get the bite. So you're constantly just watching it doing something different. I was in a tournament and watching a fish, 2 hours went by and I didn't even realize it. So it's like, for me, it was a huge time management problem.
Yes, I had a few teams. I had teams in my own club that did the same thing. Like Frank, I just spent 3.5 hours and I don't even think it was a bass. I think it's a carp now that I think about it, or whatever, perch, whatever. Joe, in New Hampshire, a lot of guys using forward facing sonar that
a lot of the big boat leagues are, but when we see like the small boats, the small vessels, kayaks and stuff, it's kind of a practicality thing, like affordability. If somebody's got their, if they're like if they have a like a $500 vibe kayak, there's very little chance they're going to put $3,500 or whatever worth of electronics on it, whether or not versus if they have a $4,500 Hobie and they're just loading it up with all kinds of stuff that they can afford, that kind of stuff. So that I've seen too. But I mean, one thing you do have to watch out for is the people that actually know the water too. If it's a home lake advantage, you can chase fish around all day long and sit there for a couple hours. Hey, this is a big fish. I want it to bite. Whereas that's one fish and you're spending way too much time on it. And then these other guys are just cleaning house because, hey, I know there's going to be piles of fish on these rocks here, and they have 85 inches already. And you're still sitting there with, I call it like playing Nintendo, you know what I mean? But just it's like a video game, really. Personally, it's not something for me. I mean, I like down imaging, side scan, things like that, just to see where things are and getting a feel for things. I still pre-fish, so that's I like to figure things out ahead of time, and instead of doing stuff like that. And that's what I've seen too. Even when I have fished a lot of like the big boat tournaments and stuff like that. Yeah, you pre-fish it. You learn what this place is, what it's like, what they want, and then you give it to them, kind of thing. It's this whole like hide and go seek thing. It works. Don't get me wrong. I've watched a lot of it on YouTube. I've been on the fence about it, but it's not something that's for me. A lot of guys do well with it, and kudos to them. That's great. But I can't see. I would rather put the money into more gear myself. Because I got a lot of soft plastics to keep up with. And so stuff like that, or electronics. A new lithium battery, whatnot. So, that's where I see it, and that's what I think a lot of the other fishermen around here, up north, like we do have a lot of deeper lakes, which like Winnipesaukee, things like that, where it's advantageous to have something like that. As tricky as that place is to fish, because you have no idea. That place changes hourly, so it's if you can pre-fish it all you want. I did I think one of the EKF events a couple of years ago there, and pre-fished it a few times, and it was different every time. And then tournament day, it's completely different again, you know. And
Yeah.
well, just to add, you know, insult to injury, you know, the guy that did win did have forward-facing sonar, but you know, he had a decked out yak and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah.
it is what it
Catalog.
is. I mean, if you can use it, you know, great. But it's in no way is it a gimmick. I mean, I don't think it's going to go anywhere, especially up here. I think it's just going to grow up here. But it's
100%.
I don't know where it's going to go. You know, I would like to see it become kind of more affordable options out there too. You know, so you don't
Gotcha.
need like you know the an Eco Map 93 and you know and all kinds of stuff just to get this, especially on a kayak. You know, coming from you know my
Yeah.
perspective too. Just
Yeah.
that's it's hard to see, but you know, yeah, a lot of some of the big boat guys I have been seeing they've been working with that. We have one of our one of the guys from New Hampshire, Tim Doobie, just he just joined the Elite Series. He's
Okay.
got it. He's used it before, so you know, for the big boats. So I've been trying to follow him and stuff, and he's been fishing down south a
Yeah.
lot, so it's a little bit different, which is good for him, you know. Yeah, so
Yeah.
go Tim.
100%.
But
Yeah.
but
For
you
real.
know, it's you have to keep up with the times for sure.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
And then like I'll be honest, like watching the last, you know, what is it, 2 Bassmaster Elite events they've already had. Like in, you know, and you see the forward facing sonar on there. They got that, and then they have the angler screen. I'll be cool. Like I'm sitting there with my kids. I'm like, hey, Jackson. I'm like, watch this. See that? See, and I'll get on the TV and I'll point my finger. I'm like, that's his bait drop in, and that's the fish moving up. And then you see the
Yeah.
fish.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch. I'll be honest. It's pretty fun to watch. Like not for 8 hours, but like at that
No.
moment to see that, see him set the hook. You know, I'll be honest. I'm not gonna sit there 8 hours and watch that. But at the time I'm watching for an hour while I eat breakfast and have a coffee, it's cool, right? It's cool to see that. Oh
Yeah.
shit, right? That's pretty dope. Jim in Long Island, are like a lot of guys you know or yourself, like you know guys that are using the forward facing sonar.
Our lakes have a lot of vegetation that grows pretty quick. By June, they're pretty bedded up. There's like out in Montauk, I know like I have it on mine. I have the Lowrance Active Target, the first one. I barely ever use it. I don't think
Okay.
many guys are actually going to have it. I mean, I know there might be 1 or 2 guys that will have it, that use it. Besides that, I think everybody's just still getting used to the whole tournament scene. That this is kind of like their first step into it, so I think they're just
Yeah.
walking into it slow. But yeah, I
Okay.
have it. I barely used it last year. I sat there a couple days, even just practicing and hanging out, and I'll sit there and stare at that screen more times than anything. It's like, holy shit, now it's 12 o'clock. And it's
Yeah.
like
Right.
half the day is gone already, and now it's like, all right, let me just put this down, turn it off, and let me just do my thing. So
Yeah. Sometimes
I
it's the best thing to do.
yeah.
You know, I'll be honest. I'd rather go flip a jig at some laydowns
Yeah.
than look at
Yeah.
a screen. I'll be 100% honest. Al, I'm even curious with the online slot series. If
I don't
there's
know,
teams that
man.
are, you know what I'm saying?
It'd
Who
be
knows?
nice. Yeah, but who
Who
knows?
knows? Like,
But like you
you
said,
know,
though,
like,
maybe when the events are over, I can ask that question.
I think
Well,
it'd be
who was
cool.
you?
I think it would be fun data because at the end of the season, you know, whatever, next November when like everybody's done and we have this collected data, I think it's good. I think that's pretty cool. That'd be fun to do a Slay Station talk, right? That's when we can announce like big bass of each state type deal. And then we go into, hey, here's some really cool data that we kept track of this season, which I have to go, because we already have a few events in with Slay Station with our southern states, like 3 or 4, nothing crazy. and ask them, hey, your top 3, any of them forward facing sonars, and keep track of that. I just think it'd be really cool to say, because with that data for us anyway, for a tournament organization, we can say, hey, forward facing sonar dominated, or it didn't, or it was right in the middle. Right. I just think that's cool facts to have at the end of the season. So that if we hear anybody bitch and complain, we'll be like, dude, 40% of tournaments only that finished top 3 were using forward facing sonar. The other 60 weren't. Who knows? I just think it'd be a pretty cool fact to have, or some data to have. And to, back up any arguments or whatever. It's the whole thing when we started Slay Nation. People that had like a float tube or this or that. Oh, I can't compete with like 2 guys in a John boat. And I'll go back to it always. In 2022, 2021, Elvis Lee, Minnesota Small Vessel Series, won the entire season out of a float tube. His feet sticking out the bottom of a tube. I don't even know if he had a friggin' trolling motor. I think he had the flippers, and you propel yourself with your feet. He's sitting in the water. And he won. He beat guys in John boats, kayaks, who had like, awesome rigs, whatever. He's a good fisherman, don't get me wrong, but still, there's no excuses. And I was like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. You had a guy fish from a float tube and kicked everybody's butt. And
I got 2 guys going in an inflatable this year.
Oh my God, that's right. That's right. God bless him. God bless him.
I fished a couple of big series, ABA. I fished a big boat series, and one of the guys that kept finishing in the top 10 was in one of those small trackers with a 50 horsepower motor on it.
There you go.
And he was competing with guys in 21 Rangers.
Yeah, 100%.
It's not the boat; it's the guy that's operating it and the guy throwing the rod.
100%. And where there's a will, there's a way. Right?
Yeah.
Where there's a will, there's a way. And is Slay Nation open watercraft? What does that mean?
I have no idea.
Maine, what does that mean? Open watercraft. Yeah, but an inflatable, I'm sorry. No, me personally, you would not see me on an inflatable. Dude, I'd feel like, we hit
no
a prickly
chance.
bush. Yeah, if you go over a limb, a pointy limb, maybe there's a hook hanging off a limb and you float over it and you're measuring a fish, because you're drifting. Oh, good luck. Boat or kayak. Oh, Maine stream fishing. So it depends on what series you fish. We have different options. So if you're living in Maine, we have a kayak series. So you fish out of your kayak. If you're a small vessel, you could fish out of a John boat, a small aluminum boat, canoe, kayak. You could fish solo or as a team. So it depends on your series. Good question. Or we have a horsepower series too with the big boat, which we're going to be at Bass Pro tomorrow. A Bridgeport one, Jim. Our horsepower series directors, I got them a table there. I'm going to set it up on the sidewalk tomorrow morning.
Nice.
Try to boost some membership over here. But I don't know, just an interesting topic, right? Just like, will it dominate? I don't know. Let's friggin' see. What the hell?
It'd be nice to
it's
know.
a topic that everybody's talking about, like last year, this year.
Right? I mean, it's getting a little old. I'll be honest. Like all the podcasts I listen to, they all talk about it, and I shut it off. I'll be honest. I'm like, all right, I already heard about this already.
I think Scott Martin last night had a really good point, though.
What he said. I listened to the first.
I was hitting like bits and pieces of it, but he basically said, he's like, we've been using this for years. It's not like it came out last year.
Yeah.
Like everybody's talking about it now, but it's been out for years. Like if you took these young kids and let them still fish without it, they're still going to fish. These guys really can fish. It's not like the fish are like just jumping on the hook just because they see a signal coming from the boat. And it's like these guys actually can fish. So
yeah, 100%. Jermaine, New Jersey is one of our biggest trails. They got like 70 members right now. Fish it. You might see Ike and Ellie at another one. Yeah, Mike. Scott, he did make some good points. And not for nothing, haven't saltwater guys been using like this kind of technology for a long time too?
Well, I don't know if saltwater guys have been using this technology for a long time, but if you actually think about it, this is just military technology finally making it into the civilian market.
Yeah.
They finally figured out how to make it small and compact enough that it can fit in just a regular boat, kayak, all that stuff.
I think saltwater guys have been using this. They actually have more advanced technology than freshwater does. Yeah, I was talking to somebody at West Marine about it, and he was like, "Dude, this stuff." He's like, "Guys, this is old. We've been using this stuff for years." He's like, "That's how do you think I catch my tuna?" And
I think they even have something where they can like highlight a fish on their map, and
they have,
and it'll like auto detect and freaking drive their boat for them to keep it in line with.
Like an autopilot, like kind of like. Oh, that's actually. Imagine that. Imagine that.
Oh, yeah, you lock in on a big bass that
you can lock down on a 6-pound bass and follow where it goes, dude. That's the next thing. That's next. That's next, boys.
I think if it gets to that point, I'm just going to be done fishing for a while or find a trail that doesn't allow any.
Well, so someone made a point earlier. They said, "Hey, what if you had a no forward-facing sonar tournament to change it up?" Which I agree that you could do that, but that has to be on a schedule before this, before your season begins, so people know. You can't like implement it now, because if someone has it, I wouldn't want to do it. That would cause a problem. But I would say if you put it on your schedule before the season starts, people sign up. Yeah, you could do that because people know in advance. Right now it'd be too, you wouldn't want to do it now. It might cause arguments. But I agree, that'd be cool.
Even some states like PA we have a kayak trail called Back to Basics, which Mike Goslin runs.
Yes.
No electronics, no motors. It is literally just you, your kayak, and 2 rods. And we see who can actually break down the lake the best. So it's a nice way just to get back to old school before all the electronics and everything, before the motors, and see if you can actually figure the lake out.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think not for nothing. Maybe that's something we can implement in like each of our AOI championships or state championships. Is like, hey, this is a one-day event, and it is best of the best today. It's the best of the best with what you got. You can use, maybe you limit it. If you have, I don't know, if you have anything but forward-facing sonar, right? I don't know. Just throwing that out there. That'd be a cool idea. Freddie Rubanis last night on Bass After Dark, he talked about, he's like, well, where does it end? He's like, I got power poles that have the, power pole. They have the trolling motors on the power poles now, and you can go in reverse if you need to. He's like, well, I can go in reverse when other guys can't. Like, when does the, complaining stop or whatever? So whatever. I don't know. It's been on every topic. So I just wanted to bring it up, because who knows?
And years ago, I remember with I think it was BFL or ABA, they were having a problem with those jet boats.
Oh yes,
because if you had a co-angler, co-angler had to pick a side. You couldn't just walk from side to side on the back of a jet boat because it takes up that whole back.
That's right. That's how I don't know if you guys know, but Roland Martin, when he won the Bassmaster Classic, he won it up in Connecticut. It was on the Connecticut River years ago. It was like, oh my God, it might have been the 80s or sometime in the 90s. I forgot when it was, but he used a jet boat because the Connecticut River had lots of rocks and stuff. And with a bass boat and your outboard, the prop, he was, coming off. So he had a jet boat, and he was able to get up as far the river as you can to get these untouched smallmouth. So I mean, Freddie Rubanis brought up a cool point. Like right now in a lot of these open events, the Open Series, Bassmat, there's not a lot of co-anglers this season, right? There's an issue with they're like, there's 250 boats, but there's 50 co-anglers. People are like, what's going on? And they're like, well, because you got a guy fishing offshore using forward-facing sonar. What are you supposed to do in the back? You got nothing to look at and cast to. You're screwed. You got to go do that now. Maybe you don't even know how to drop shot. I don't know. And Freddie Rubanis is like, he talked about that. He's like, maybe the requirement is you can only have 3 forward-facing sonar units on your boat instead of 6 or 7 or whoever has that many now, right? And he was like, but one has to be in the back for your co-angler, right? Facing somewhere in the back. And that's not a bad idea. Like, I don't know.
No,
like
that's
if you
not.
Did you see
right,
that
think about
portable
that.
unit? Did you
Huh?
see that portable unit that has it's like the whole forward facing sonar with the battery pack and everything. The guy could walk on it with a pole and it just like mounts on the side of anybody's boat.
I feel like I did, but oh my God, I think I did.
I saw something on it. I was just like, this is like the next thing. The guys are gonna be bringing their own rig just to keep up.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. If you make a co-angler version of it, it's just how to eat. That's not a think about that. That's not
That's
a bad
actually a pretty
idea.
good idea. Yeah.
Like if these companies, like it's a portable and you can fish. Yeah, in a minute. That's a good idea. They have them for ice fishing. Do they? I
Yeah.
don't know.
Guys have
Nice.
made stuff up like that for ice fishing. They have like portable packs, that have the battery built in, a stand and everything for your freaking screen. And then you just drop the transducer down. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure somebody could modify one of those.
I mean, why not? Why? I'm surprised a co-angler hasn't thought of that yet.
Yeah, I think it's the Sportsman channel or one of those channels where there's a couple that does ice fishing. And they have one where they drill the hole next to the hole they're fishing out of and they drop it in. And there's their sonar, their scanner right there. I don't know if it's forward facing, but
you could easily do it for forward facing though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but that's
it's easy to do.
If you're a co-angler and you're paying all this money to do this stuff, why not? That's not a bad idea. Shit.
Yeah, and
actually
I think the reason there's less co-anglers is because kayak fishing has gotten affordable. And
yes,
for what it costs you to co-angler, you can go fish kayak fishing and make more money, make the same amount of money, if not more, and not have to rely on being on the back of somebody else's boat.
Well, that's true too. And I was a non-boater co-angler, whatever you want to call it. I
was for years.
Yeah, co-angler to me, when you're you're like team. You're a team, right? Co-director, co-pilot. You're not even competing, with them. You're kind of against
you got no say. You got no say where you're going.
No, you don't.
Fishing.
Yes, which if you want to get into tournament fishing and you want to learn something from, I mean, if you get lucky and you get a good boater that takes the time, I know I was lucky in Connecticut. I got some really good guys that showed me some things. I even fished with Paul Mueller, who fishes the elites 2 times in a row. I drew his boat in the ABA up here. And, I learned a whole bunch of stuff from him. But after like year 4, 5, I was like, dude, this kind of sucks. I can't do anything. You're bringing 6 rods, 7 rods with everything on it because you don't know where this dude's going to fish.
Yep.
And I'm like, all right. Then that's how Slay Nation started. But I agree. You do it for a little bit, get your teeth wet, get to learn the verbiage, the tournament talk, chatter, the whole thing. And then it's like, yeah, let me get into kayak tournaments. So much cheaper. I can get a kayak right now on Facebook Marketplace for $400, or whatever. And a lower entry fee and a better chance at winning that money back or a few grand or whatever.
On a tournament, and you meet some great guys along the way.
Well, that's true too.
And I think most of the co-anglers on the Opens in the Toyota, what is it, Toyota Series this year?
Yeah,
they keep changing their names so much, but I think those tournaments are what, $400, $450 each.
Oh, I don't know. That's a lot.
So
for a co-angler,
it's a co-angler. You're paying a couple $100 per tournament to enter. It's crazy. Cheaper to get a bass boat. You're get a kayak.
You're paying you're paying a guide service fee to not be guided.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God.
That's how you touched on Frankie bringing like 6 poles and stuff like that. I think I'd lose my mind. I'd be sitting there with 10 poles. What do I need? Where are we fishing?
I used to be that guy. I remember because I never had I didn't even have a canoe this was years ago. This is like 11 years ago, 12 years ago. No, not even longer than that. And I'd be that guy that showed up and I was the only non-boater in our club and I would draw and I'd have, 10 rods wrapped because I was like, I don't even know what to do. I don't even know what to rig because I don't know where we're gonna go, and I don't even have a say. If we go somewhere and I saw the guy flipping a jig, I would take. Hopefully, I had a jig tied on, or I'd tie one on, and I would like mimic. I would copy whatever they were doing. But then, if they backboat you, I'm like, all right, well, I have no choice now. Where what's in front of me. But whatever. But I do like the idea of that portable forward-facing sonar. Like, imagine that you draw a boat and you maybe what if you didn't even tell the boater and you got this backpack, you get on the boat and you're taking this stuff out and he's probably like, what the don't worry, dog.
Yeah, where are you putting that on this boat?
You got yours. I needed mine too. What do you want? Sorry, dude. Right. And then that how cool would that be? And then the non-boater, the co-anglers in the back catching more fish in the front of the boat. And then the guy turns the boat around.
The guy flip the boat around.
That'd actually be pretty funny. That'd be pretty funny. Oh my God. Yeah. I don't know, man. This is good. This is a good talk because I don't know. Maybe there's some co-angler out there who hasn't thought of this yet. Hopefully, I'd love to see when they do that. I'd like to hear that.
Cool to see somebody run up with that this season.
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
And we'll see how fast the rules change.
Yeah. And then that's the other thing too, is all these rule change. I mean, it's at this point, you're just like, I mean, the good thing is we don't have to, like Slay Nation, where it's the kayak stuff or the big, like, we don't have to follow anybody's damn rules. That's the one thing I love. We don't have to follow anybody's rules. Yep. But there's some, I don't plan on making any rules, changing anything at the moment until our data at the end of the year. Just kidding. I'm not going to take away anybody's rights.
I wonder if Tourney X can make a back button where only like the directors see, where you can like click when you register if you'll be planning to use it.
Oh, that's not a bad option.
Because then we can see it as a director, and then it's not like it's portrayed out to all the clubs. But then, at least for data purposes, he can.
For the director, if he can install
the directors in the clubs.
Yeah, like a button. That's not a bad idea.
You can always ask Wayne.
Yeah, you could. Yeah. He's probably going to be like, "Well, more stuff to add on to the app."
Yeah, there's going to be another.
Like Dwayne is adding, changing, updating every day.
Hey, yeah, good though this year. His new upgraded version looks phenomenal. I can't wait to use it.
Okay, you know what? I told Dwayne this. Me personally, I never use the app. I always use it through the web browser on my phone. I never use the app. Nothing against it. I don't know. I'm just so used to.
Well, for like the app for when you're fishing in a tournament, it's easier to submit and everything. But if I'm doing my director stuff, it's definitely through the browser.
Yes, well, that's why I do too. I use it. My partner, my teammate, he'll use it on the app if we're submitting fish for the team through his. But yes, when I'm directing, or creating an event, I only use the web browser. It's just so much easier for me. I'm just so used to it. Nice. Well, gents, it's a little after 10 here. I don't want to keep us all too late. I know I'm tired. I had we did our student staff basketball game today, and
nice.
Not a lot of staff like playing that game. Basketball's a little harder than soccer. I played literally the whole game, and it was like third quarter, and I took a jump shot, and both of my calves in the air cramped up. And I'm like, I got to get off this show before my entire body cramps up, and I don't want to be live for that.
Did you not like take enough potassium in?
I drink so much. I don't eat a lot during the day, like just because teaching, Joe's a teacher too. I don't I try to bring little snacks in for that reason. And today I knew, because I was just sweating profusely, and I had Gatorade, coconut water, all that. It was just like third quarter. I'm like, oh, I feel it in my legs. And I took a jump shot, and I was like, oh my God, don't even tell. I didn't cramp after that though. I stretched out, but dude, I don't know. It's crazy. It's like a thing. I got to drink more water.
It's a normal thing for you. Every time we get on live or I hear you talking on live, it's always.
Do you understand? I think about it every time. Every time we go live, I think I'm going to cramp, dude. It's crazy.
I sit here staring at this monitor all day.
I know. That's it. The monitor eyeballs.
This is my job. I go on YouTube, download this show true. Here. I'll download it tomorrow.
Well, that's true. Yeah. So everybody go check out the American Anglers outdoor.
Yeah, we'll have this. This will be on the Slay Nation page probably tomorrow, and it'll be on the main page on Sunday when I update Sundays.
Awesome.
Sunday we'll update the main page with all this week's videos.
Hell yeah. So Jim, if you want to drive your daughters nuts with Slay Nation,
Yeah.
put it on a TV when you're drinking coffee in the morning.
Oh, they're in the back giggling right now.
Like, Dad, what the hell? Slayer?
Yeah.
Yeah, my son's over here still up. What are you doing up, dude? All right. Well, hey, I appreciate you guys hopping on tonight. It's Friday. Enjoy your weekend, whatever you're doing, right? Be safe out there. We actually had in Connecticut Wednesday, 2 guys in a canoe tipped their canoe in Coventry Lake and lost their lives. I don't know if they had life vests or not. They died of hypothermia. I think it was 40-degree water, still a 38. Someone said in the in the article. So no matter what you do out there, y'all, be safe. Try not to tip over, and that's it. Just be safe out there. It's the only thing we could say.
So guys, just remember the rule of 120. If the air temperature and the water temperature is not higher than 120, wear that PFD. Always wear that, and keep a dry set of clothes in a dry bag in your kayak just in case you do flip. Change 100%. Out of those wet clothes real quick.
100%.
Frank, you going to be at a show next weekend?
Say that again. Who said that?
You said you were going to be at a show next weekend.
Oh, yeah. So next weekend, the 22nd, 23rd, 24th, we're going to be at Mohegan Sun Casino in Connecticut. It's the fishing and outdoor show. That expo is getting better and better every year. And they have a new kid zone. They're going to have a rock climbing wall. They have like birds of prey exhibit. They're going to have like catch a kid. So there's a fishing charter, a saltwater fishing charter. So a parent or an adult sit in the chair like they're catching a marlin with the big reel and rod, but there's a kid at the end of it in a harness running away, and you try to reel him in. I seen it last year.
Where do we sign up for that?
Exactly. It's pretty funny. It's actually pretty funny. Like I'm telling you right now, I saw it last year and I was walking around from our booth and I was pissing my pants. It was hilarious. There was a mom reeling in one of her sons. The son must have been like 8 or 9, and she's pissing her pants, and the kid is running for his life. And it was fun. So there's going to be like that, a bunch of kiddie stuff, and a trout pond for kids to try to catch trout. And then Slay Nation, I got an article that I will post. I just got it from the publicist of the head of the show, and Slay Nation is featured and running the kids fishing area, the kids casting zone. And we're going to have from teens to toddlers. We got like these little kiddie pools with magnetic fish. So the little toddlers can stand there with mom or dad and try to connect the fish on the magnet at the end of a little fishing pole we made. We have a flipping and pitching station. So we got some Slay Nation members up this way that are going to teach kids to flip and pitch. And I made these like cornhole. They look like cornhole things. And I made them, and I have little holes, and I went to Michael's and got like faux or fake bushes and flowers to put in there so it looks like a tight quarter is something you would flip into, right? Or pitch into. And but they're big squares because we want the kids to feel success. So there's a good chance they're going to get it in the hole. And we're doing a speed reeling competition. So imagine you have this kid on a spot, whatever, like it's circle spot, and they get to choose bait caster or spinning reel. And we'll have a jig tied on, and it'll be, let's just say 40 feet away. And the instructor or the angler manning that station will have a timer. We say, ready, set, go. And the kid is trying to reel the jig and pass the marker as fast as they can. And then we're going to keep their times like a time trial. And, the winner of day 1 on Saturday, because Friday, most of these kids are going to be in school. On Saturday, the winner of that, the kid or however old they are, I'm assuming it'll be like 10 or older. They're going to win a brand new Abu Garcia bait casting rod and reel donated by one of our Slay Nation kayak members in Connecticut. And we're going to have every kid that comes through is getting a pack of baits. There's a ton of sponsors through the a guy I work with, Paul Narducci. Every kid's walking away with something. Ike Foundation donated 40 tackle boxes, 40 Flambeau tackle boxes. And there's a bunch of stuff in there like fishing, like beginner fishing equipment. And we're going to raffle off a tackle box every day. And how the kids get entered for that is we created a passport. And on that passport, these kids and their parents have to go visit these booths that I put on there that are friends of ours. And they get it signed by whoever's working that booth. They bring it back completed, and I put it in the bucket, and we're going to draw a name out, and they win the Ike Foundation tackle box along with some other stuff. Yeah, we got PFDs from Onyx Outdoors. We have some more lures, reels that we're giving away. I have some hats I'll be raffling off. It's kid-size hats. That's a Slay Nation on it and like cursive or athletic text, they call it. So we're excited. We're going to be on the news. Right, the news will be there interviewing us, and Frankie the Fish is going to make his first appearance ever. Got a fish costume, so I'll be walking around taking kids. Got the music. I got my boombox and my microphone ready to go. So we're gonna have some fun, and then we'll have our little booth there. We'll have a table there for people interested in Slay Nation, yeah. So I'm excited. I love the expos. We're not like a big apparel company. We don't sell. I don't have like, 50 shirts and hats to sell. Would I like to do that? Yeah. But this year doing this, our focus is the kids and the families coming through and just kind of get to know who we are as Slay Nation. And I know there's going to be tons of Slay Nation guys, especially Connecticut, are going to be there. I know some Mass guys will be there, Rhode Island, things like that, some New York guys. So, we're just going to be a part of it and keep building it. My goal, and I told the show owner this, I want to have a whole aisle of Slay Nation sponsors there, right? And I want to call it the Slayers Row. I want like a black carpet going down the whole damn thing and white lettering, the Slayers Row. And it's, you know what I mean? I want to do the Slayers Lounge. Because last year we had so many people that came to say hi that I personally, some of our directors know them. I never met these people face to face, whether it was an online event, whatever it was. And we had so many people around our booth. I'm like, dude, we need a hangout spot because you can get a drink right there and you can hang out. People were going to gamble. They'd come back after lunch. I'm like, dude, we need a Slayers Lounge, like just a big area, maybe some little couches, some yard chairs. And we just a place to just shoot the shit so you don't feel rushed, and that's the vision. So we'll see what happens.
What part of Connecticut?
Yeah, we'll be down at I'll be down in Greenville, North Carolina.
Oh, nice.
At the big Mid-Atlantic hunting and fishing show.
Is there a Greenville, South Carolina too?
Yes.
Yep. So because I'm a basketball fan, you guys know Valvano?
Yeah.
Okay. Jimmy V, right? So he died of cancer and he did that whole speech, a popular speech that comes up.
I still listen to that speech.
100%. He's like just one of, idol of mine. Not because he's Italian too and he coached basketball. But he tells a story about one of his first interviews going down for North Carolina State. And he got onto a flight that went to Greenville, South Carolina. And when he got off the plane, he talks about like, hey, what's going on? Where's the interview? And they're like, sir, this is Greenville, South Carolina. He's like, and he tells this story. And like, I've heard it in another interview he did. So when I hear Greenville,
I like the one where he gives the speech.
Yeah.
And he's about, and his sister, and he's talking about, I forget the speech the football coach gave.
Oh yeah, he's talking about Rutgers, one of his first. Yeah. I'm trying to give a Vince Lombardi speech. I got it ready to go. Kick down the door.
He messes it up,
and he can't kick the door open or something.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah,
he was great.
He was great. Yeah. TJ, it's in Uncasville, so it's all the way up 95.
Okay.
Yeah, all the way.
Mohegan Sun. Slay Ray will be there. He's going Friday to Saturday afternoon. Then he's got to head back home. I think.
Stoneman Lures wanted to know the dates again.
Oh, Oh, Stillman, Pete, it's March 22nd, 23rd, 24th. So next weekend. It's a 3-day event.
Maybe if we get a chance next year, maybe we'll sling up there next year.
Yeah, next year. Oh, that'd be great. I'll let you guys know in advance about that, because
Through
that'd
my
be
old
great.
stopping grounds, Danbury,
Yeah,
Connecticut, and that.
that's right. That's right. Those were the days, Al. Those were the days.
Yeah, the 70s in Danbury was great.
Yeah. Oh, the 70s. Oh, never mind. I wasn't even born yet.
Uh,
Tell us how they
they
were,
were
Al.
good times.
That's funny. All right. Well, listen, gents, it's 10:30. Thanks for hopping on. And obviously we'll do it again. But have a great weekend.
Well, always here.
Slayers.
All right, boys.
Take
Have
care,
a great night.
Everybody take care.
Take
I'm
See you
care.
later.
See ya. Get some rest. Joe's got some papers to grade.
I sure do.
All right. Later, gents.
All right, later.
All right, y'all. Thanks for tuning in. Great panel of guys. Great talk. They're excited about the seasons, as we are as well. And we cannot wait to see everybody's PBs get busted this year. Let's go. Everybody's catching PBs. So thanks again for tuning in. Slay Station. And don't forget, if you're interested in being a member, register by April 15th if you want a jersey in that membership. It's something we do every year, but we have to put a cut date on it. April 15th is that date. So sign up, get advantage of our discounts, get your Slay swag, and much more. We're also going to do some nationwide onliners. So stay tuned for that this season. So have a great weekend, y'all. As always, do what you love. Stay healthy. Surround yourself with people that love you and support you. And hey, peace, love. Slay all day. Whoa!